What's cracking, everybody? April 24th, Friday. Smoke break. Little roach, man. I'm out here in Marietta. Normally my ass is in San Diego, but I caught a ride to Temecula. I was gonna come up here anyway this evening, but I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have took that ride. It'd be slow as fuck around this area. Trust me, I know. I used to live in Temecula for 5 years. And I'm at my buddy Thomas' house. He's like, man, it's dead over here. He don't feel like going out working. He's like, I feel like just barbecuing and drinking some alcohol. But I gotta get it in because I got shit to pay for, man. All right, this video, some advice. That's all I want to give, some advice. Ain't gonna cost you a penny either. It's all free. So the first one, advice I'm gonna give, collections. How to deal with them. The reason why I bring up collections, I can't believe punk ass Hurts, bro. Here we got a court date in June. These motherfuckers sent a bill to collections. What the fuck? You little bastards still owe me money. And I seen that letter, and then they ended up sending me a second letter, and I haven't called them yet. But I'm about to call them and let them know that they bought a bad debt for 2 reasons. One, I don't owe that money. Motherfuckers owe me money. So I think they should, the collection company should call Hurts back and be like, give me my money back. You got a motherfucking lawsuit pending and you gonna sell the collection? So that's one. And 2, I'm a sue happy motherfucker. So the way you deal with collections in a court of law, they have to prove that that debt is originally theirs, and they can't prove that. So all you do is threaten them with a lawsuit. So I'm immediately call that company today and be like, hey, I'm gonna give you some advice. Call Hurts, whatever you bought that debt for. I think it's like $650, something like that. Right, whatever you bought it for, maybe they bought it for $200. Call them up and get your money back. And second, if you send me one more motherfucking letter on the same day I see that shit come in, will be the same day you gonna have a case against you in court. I'll sue my own mother if she got out of line, all right? Next advice. It's some advice I gave a teenager, man. Some really good advice I gave this dude. But let me tell you how I met him. First of all, he had my gym at the front door, right? And it's 5 o'clock in the morning. And he walking up on me. And I could tell when motherfucker gonna ask me for some money. And I just didn't even look at him. I just walked past him like he was a wall. Hey, you ain't gonna get no money out of me. But, and this little kid, he's like 16, I'm guessing. He young though. So when I get done with the gym and I come out, I know this little dude, he wasn't gonna ask me for some money, like begging and shit. He was trying to sell me some sodas or drinks he was selling. I was like, oh, this little dude came to hustle. I'm like, all right. So then the next morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, teenager, by the gym. And he goes, hey, sir. And I said, I just looked at him. I was like, I admire your hustle. Keep hustling. And just walked on in. Ain't getting no money out of me. But then the next day, I was like, wow, this dude really doing it. 5 o'clock in the morning again. I had to give him his props. I said, bro, you keep hustling like that, you gonna be all right. Well, can you? Nope, still ain't getting no money out of me. So now the next day came, and I'm walking out. Sure enough, I'm like, keep hustling, bro, keep hustling. So look, where my gym is at, my car wash is there too. Because he hit me up that time when I'm walking out. But I work out, wash my ass, and then go wash my car ass all in the same parking lot. So now I'm at the car wash. And this little dude came up again. I said, and I looked at him and I said, bro, you just asked me over at the gym. I said, all right, persistence over resistance. I admire this dude's hustle. So I'm like, all right, man, tell me what you got. He goes, I'm selling drinks and snacks and candy and stuff so I can buy my first car. I was like, all right, man, you got my attention. I go, but I ain't got no cash on me. He goes, I got Venmo and Cash App. I got everything. I'm like, okay, little fucker. He on it. I was like, your first car, huh? I go, let me give you some advice. I used to own a car dealership. So, I'm going to spend some money with you. But I want you to take the money and go buy your first car from the auction. Car auction. He's like, really? I go, yep. I go, the very first car I ever bought from the car auction, it was a Camaro. I think I bought it, I like to say $2,000, right? T-tops, cool ass Camaro. I drove that car for a year. Transmission went out. They wanted $1,500 to fix it. Excuse me. Keep in mind, I bought it for $2,000, drove it for a year, transmission went out. Well, I ain't had the money to fix the transmission. So what I did was put it up for sale and I sold it for $2,000. Exact amount I bought it for. I said, go to auction. I go, dude, when I started my car business, I went to the public auction every single week. I bought one car. Worked from my garage. And then I eventually went and set up my car dealership, which I got up to selling an average of 25 cars a week. And the thumbnail that y'all see, that was my second location. That was my location in Las Vegas I set up. Cool ass picture, huh? I always wore that Moret Motors gear. So the dude was like, I said, man, look, you hustle this shit. Hey, and his hustle, I was proud of his hustle. He had a skateboard, electronic skateboard. So I guess he hits up, look, Kobe about to trip. He hits up the people early in the morning at the gym, right? And then when the car wash opens at 7, now he in the parking lot by the car wash, slugging by the car wash, and slugging by the gym, and he's rolling his skateboard. He's got his cooler and shit right there, and all the snacks and chips, and then he just rolled in the parking lot with his skateboard, letting everyone know, hey, I'm trying to get my first car. Now, I ain't seen him in the last couple days, but I gave him some good ass advice. And his fucking hustle, I said, dude, the cheapest car I ever bought at the auction was $600. I said, but you want to go in there at least $1,500 and get you a car and then turn around, sell that motherfucker. Man, the little hustle that kid got, bro, I mean, it changed his life. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to give you some even more better advice than the car auction. Figure out how to make US dollars without physically being here, bro. I go, now that's the hard part. You figure out that trick, golden, bro. Go travel. I say you too young now, but you think about it. You ain't too far away from 18. So I hope he already went and bought it. I hope the way his hustle was, he probably already made the money to go buy it straight to the auction. I said, go to the Chula Vista one. So now this next advice, this shit's kind of funny. Actually, the woman might be watching right now. So I picked up a couples therapist, right? She a little cutie too. 41 years old, so she expired 6 years ago. Hey therapist if you watching. But she was a cutie though, right? She probably even wore extra small panties. And trying to find extra small panties in America, that's kind of a hard task nowadays. You know, the average weight of a woman in America is now 160 pounds, okay? But she looked like she probably weighed about 120. So she was telling me her boyfriend and her took a break for a 30-day break. And then the break is going to be over the next day. She goes, hey, you ever been married? I said, yeah, I've been married twice. I am not good at it. It wasn't for me. And she said, well, what was the problem? I go, well, both my wives changed. The moment I married them, they turned into a whole nother person. And then they trying to change me. You can't change me. I'm going to be me. That's too much headache. That's what she told me. She's a couples therapist. She goes, you're supposed to argue. You're supposed to change. I go, hell no. I don't think so. I like having peace. She said, yo, my boyfriend says the same thing. He wants some peace. And my boyfriend got a dog just like you. And he says, my dog don't give me any problems. My dog gives me peace. I go, well, he's right. Ain't nobody wants to sit up and deal with that arguing shit, and I don't want nobody changing me. I'm a grown motherfucking man. Period. I need some peace. And then I told her, I said, look, my second wife, 8 years dating. We only had 3 arguments. And then we get married and also she want to argue every day? No. I go, I went and set up, just so I can get some peace, I went and set up a car dealership in Las Vegas in order to get my weekend schedule back. And ain't nobody want to deal with that shit. She goes, I might have to rethink being with this guy then. Why? Because she wants to argue. So I told her, I said, look, ain't no reason for a man to deal with that if a man got a passport. If you ain't got a passport, you got to deal with that shit. If you got a passport, being an American man, you just go to another country and we get overwhelmed with women. So why am I going to sit up and argue with a woman back and forth, one woman that's trying to change me, arguing with me and shit all the time, when I can just go be a whore somewhere? And I tell her, I said, well, damn, Hong Kong's only 20 minutes away. I'd rather go deal with that than argue over some vagina. No. And then I tell her, I said, get back with your man. Don't argue with him. And every once in a while, bring him a woman home. If both my wives would have brought me a woman home every once in a while and didn't argue with me, I'll still be with them. Well, except for the first one, because she passed away. Rest in peace, Joy. But if we would have never been divorced. Bring your man home a woman. She said, you crazy. I said, maybe. But I'm a much happier man this way. I go, in fact, I said, I would. She goes, but don't you want to just be with one woman? No, I don't. I'll get married again for a third time. under my rules. And these are my rules. The woman will have to be pregnant. DNA test before the baby is born. Mama's baby, papa's maybe. All right? And that woman got to understand, I'm the only man she can sleep with. But I'm able to sleep with as many women as I want. I say I can't do that here in America. Y'all have a fit. You ain't gonna have your women in pairs around here. We'll cut your balls off. In South America, them women is built different. I can get away with it down there. Then I'll get married. I already got the fucking ring. So yeah, that's my advice. How to deal with creditors. File a lawsuit on their ass. Look, hey, everybody be so gung-ho about changing shit with votes. Okay? Yeah, that could change your shit. But you know what changes shit much faster than votes? Lawsuits. Learn how to file them. Everyone be so terrified to go to court. Going to court for me is like going to Disneyland. Come on, I'm a man that own a car dealership. I sell so many motherfucking cars. My ass is in court every month. More money, more problems. Niggas trying to get the bag up out of me. Yeah, I had major tips then. I don't right now. But I'm working on that one. All right, man. It's Friday. It's slow around here, but what can I do? I gotta go grind. I paid for my website, but now I gotta pay for the metapixel things. That's the next one. I gotta get through this shit, man. Anyway.